The reboots we didn't ask for, Hannah Montana's nostalgic trip, and the world's first major AI book scandal.
I'm Maggie Zhao.
And I'm Jasmine Wallace.
And you're listening to Culture Club, where two writers and editors chat about pop culture, current affairs, the internet, and our lives.
Today we're on the lands of the Wurundjeri Woiwurrung people of the Kulin Nations.
We would like to pay our respects to elders past and present and extend this to any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander listeners today.
How's your week been, Mags?
My week's been good. I feel like it's officially gone cold in Melbourne, and I was carrying my umbrella like nobody's business yesterday, just like going through the streets, like trying to not get swept away by the wind and everything.
It's crazy. I feel like my hair looks probably messy because I was standing at the traffic lights. I literally was getting pushed backwards by the wind. It was crazy. And my hair has gone all backwards as well. But anyway, yeah. This week has been, it feels like a bit of a whirlwind, like changing of the seasons. I just wanted to talk briefly. I just wanted to like send love to anyone else who's like experiencing I'm crying already.
Oh, Jazz.
Sorry to like get straight into
I
it.
love you.
Who struggles with like PMS and PMDD because it's something that, oh my God, I literally didn't mean to cry. Is this like
okay.
bad?
No.
Okay.
Feel your feelings. As I always say, crying is such a gift, and to feel your emotions that deeply is such a strength. Like, embrace it.
Yeah.
Take your time.
Yeah. I just wanted to like, I just felt compelled to talk about it on the podcast because with PMS, and I haven't been like formally diagnosed, but I think it is PMDD because like for 3 weeks I have this like normal life, right?
Yeah.
And I'm really energetic and I love my life and like I'm smashing it and whatever. And then I have this 1 week where like every single day it's like a struggle to like get out of bed and like, oh my God, seriously did not mean this to be a therapy session. I just wanted to like raise awareness about it.
Yeah, I feel like if you need that release. I feel like you've probably been bottling this up. You're also like, Laurie's not home at the moment. So yeah.
Yeah, because like it's like a hormonal shift, right? And it's a hormonal shift that comes like right before your period. And I still like try to maintain like my normal life, and I like sent you a message that was like, just letting you know I'm low energy, but like that is like 20% of like the way that I talk about it is like I'm showing actually like 20% of how like I actually feel. So like just for awareness, like some symptoms are like I feel like I'm constantly on the verge of tears. Yeah. I know we joke like nearly every episode about how much I cry, lol, but it's like it's a different feeling. Like this like bone tired exhaustion. Thinking like all your friends hate you.
Oh, Jessie.
Even though like logically, you know, they don't.
No, I love you.
Sorry, I hope that this like, I didn't mean to like come on the mic and just be like, what?
No.
I just felt like compelled to talk about it because I definitely feel like a lot of shame about it too, because like I do operate to like such a high capacity. Yeah. That I like beat myself up. I'm like, why do I feel like this? Even though like logically, you know, it's just like crazy. So, and it fluctuates all the time. Yeah. So like like today's like this month is like a bad month. And then the next month I'll be fine. Like the week before my period, I have like normal energy levels, normal like everything, like normal life. So therefore like you don't investigate. And also like the mental load of like investigating something like women's health is like such a thing as well. Paying so much money for like specialists. So you kind of just like battle through, and then like you start bleeding and like, okay, I'm better now. Like anyway, let's do that again. So I just felt compelled to talk about it. Because I just want to like send love to anyone else who's like going through it as well. Yeah. Like you're not alone. And sorry.
No, don't apologize. And the thing is, you're right. Women's health issues don't get invested enough. We don't know much about it. A lot of people lack research and then like the time, money, funds to like go out and try to like get help with this stuff. So it's really common. Like it's way more common than we think. And unfortunately, we just don't have like the language and the resources to know how to deal with it more. Like you're right, we don't talk about it much.
Yeah, or even just talking about it. Like I don't want to like bore people with it like every month. And like I'm very much like a positive person naturally. So I find it hard to even just be like to tell people that I'm like having a shit time. Yeah. So this week has been like really bad for that. And like I'm just looking forward to the weekend. I did like one thing we spoke about because I told you I wasn't feeling great like 2 days ago. And then yesterday we actually went to like a KIC event, like as in the KIC app, the fitness app in Australia. And I was nervous about it because we heard that it was like an exercise class. And like when you're that exhausted and tired, like you don't really want to do that. But we went together and it was so nice. They do like somatic movement classes. It's not open yet. It's in Melbourne. But like you and I like can't walk today.
It hit me last night. Like last night I was like, oh boy, there are muscles in my legs that are feeling it that I hadn't like
Me
felt
too.
before. And I was like, what the hell is happening?
I was like walking to the studio this morning and it's like the back of my
I'm wobbling.
thighs.
I'm wobbling.
I can't walk.
And it's all in like the bottom half of me. I don't know about you.
Yeah, because we did like 4 minutes worth of squats to this one song. It was really good. We'll share like in the show notes if you want to learn more about KICStudio that's opening in April here in Melbourne. But that was fun and that like definitely helped my mental state as well. So there's different tools that I use and it's just like being kinder to yourself, I think is like such a big one. Like, yeah, try not to like beat yourself up. And I'm very grateful to have friends like you who are so understanding. So there we go.
Lots of big movie news this week. We have a big section of popcorn moments, pardon the pun. I feel like there's been so many announcements of like new movies, reboots, things happening, and we're going to talk about it. Number one, okay, 13 going on 30 reboot. How do you feel?
My God. I totally, when I saw that on Twitter, I was just like, man, why are we doing this? 13 going on 30 is famously one of the best rom-coms of the modern era. Why are we remaking it? Like, it's so beloved. We still, anytime Jennifer Garner is like doing press or anything, like she's talked about, like she talks about it. It's top 5 rom-coms ever made famously. So why are we rebooting it?
Why? It's in my personal, like maybe top 5 movies ever. I love it so much. It was released in 2004. I guess it's been 22 years. But that still doesn't feel long enough. Like we don't need this. It was a great movie and you're going to just like dull it down because of it. One good thing is that Jennifer Garner is the executive producer for this, but still I'm like, do we need to do this?
So Emily Bader and Logan Lerman will star as the main characters, and the film is going to be directed by Brett Haley, who most recently helmed Netflix's adaptation of Emily Henry's People We Meet on Vacation, and that also starred Emily Bader.
Yeah. So I'm like, oh, big whoop. Like you're using the same director for this like another like adaptation or, you know, remake for a Netflix thing. Same actor, same director. I'm bored.
I feel like we're always like, we'll see how it goes. But with this one, I'm just like, oh, I just don't care.
Like, I love Logan Lerman. That's like the only thing getting me there. I'm not a big fan of Emily. Like, people really like her. I really found People We Meet on Vacation to be so disappointing. And I just think this will feel the same. And I also think it's a cop-out when directors like use the same actors for different projects. I'm
really?
Like, a little bit. Like, I get it, but I'm like, use other people.
I think, you know, you see like Emma Stone working with like the same directors over and over. I think sometimes there's like a creative synergy there.
Well, it's like Emerald Fennell and like using like Jacob Elordi and like blah, blah, blah all the time. I almost think you should show your skills and prowess as a director by being able to extend your style and work with different people.
In good news, though, there is an original rom-com that is being released in April. It's called You Me, Tuscany, and it stars Halle Berry and Renee Jean Page, famously of Bridgerton, who left the Bridgerton franchise to like be a big movie star and has like done barely anything since.
This is good. I'm very excited about this. And I will say my brain feels like it's so used to being fed like reboot adaptation mush. So my initial reaction, I thought this was a book that turned into a movie because he kind of looks like a movie poster and the name. It sounds like something you might have already seen. But this is original and this is actually exciting.
Yeah, I was expecting them to say this is a book adaptation because it definitely looks like a romance book or like that trend at the moment. The film takes place in Italy and it tells the story of a young cook who squats in an abandoned Tuscan villa owned by a man that she barely knows, and then she meets the owner's cousin.
Wait, I love that because that's like really rogue. You know what I mean? Like that's a rogue plot line.
Yeah, squatting in some random villa.
And then it's like not even the guy, it's like the guy's cousin.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Me too. We should go support. Actually, the award-winning Black filmmaker Nina Lee shared online that studios are watching the performance of Yumi and Tuscany before moving forward with her projects.
Is it just because like the main actors are Black and she's a Black filmmaker?
That's what people and Nina are insinuating.
Terrible.
She wrote, "A film that has nothing to do with me could quite literally change my life."
That is so devastating. Not surprising, of course. I feel like the barriers for Black filmmakers to like break through or make it in the industry or get this kind of the same like level of funding and the same level of noise, like they have to do so much to do this. And like, imagine being like, imagine someone coming to you, Jazz, and being like, this random white girl's
Yeah,
book. If this does well, we'll get you to write a book because of that. And you're like,
literally.
what? I don't know her.
It's so silly. I also liked what Ryan Gosling told moviegoers, like with all the Project Hail Mary hype, which is,
Mm.
well, I haven't seen yet, but I'm really excited to
Mhm.
watch. And Ryan said, it's not your job to keep theaters open. It's our job to make things that make it worth you coming out.
So real. I like that. Thank you, Ryan.
Take the pressure off a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think it is also good to like vote with your money essentially
Yeah.
and like support the art that you want to see more of.
But and
Like,
people were doing that with like Barbieheimer, whatever. Like
mm.
people are still going to the movies, but it is right. Like it is making these films that people actually want to go out and see and support.
Side note, I saw Hamlet this week. So good.
Did you love it so
I loved
much?
it. I was like, I didn't cry as much as I thought. And then the final scene on
Yeah.
stage, I was like,
Oh God. I freaking
so
loved it.
good.
Another side note to your side note. It's now like under a paid thing, but Modern Love did a podcast episode with Jessie Buckley. Sorry, okay, I was like Jessie Hamnet. No, the lead actress of Hamnet, who of course won the Oscar for that. And that was a beautiful, beautiful conversation. She seems like the most amazing, sweet lady. She actually invited her midwife to like one of the red carpet openings of the
That's
film.
so nice.
Yeah. And she actually, one other thing, I was so shocked because Hamnet is about like her as a mother and like her role as a mother. She filmed that before she became a mother. And I was like,
Yeah.
how the hell did she act all like so well? Anyway,
Well, apparently she like got pregnant pretty soon after filming ended. And
crazy.
then she now has an 8-month-old baby. Like, can't
Imagine.
imagine going through that crazy
No, the
career
energy.
high, like everything that she's doing and having essentially a newborn baby. It
I
seems
mean,
like so transformative.
also, if you don't want like spoilers for Hamnet, skip 30 seconds. But the fact that she like literally in that role plays the role of a mother losing her child and then like gave but like then brought her own baby into the world. That's too much for me to unpack.
Yeah. She's incredible. That was yeah. Okay, we could talk all day about Jessie Buckley. There's one other adaptation we want to quickly talk about,
Mhm.
which is one of the year's best-selling books has already scored an adaptation.
Mm.
Crazy. It's Strangers by Belle Burden. I feel like it's everywhere at the moment. It's on Instagram stories across the country, across the world.
Yes.
You haven't read it, have you?
I haven't read it, but again, I was introduced to this by Modern Love, like an episode
Mm,
of the New York Times podcast where they interviewed Belle, and her story was gripping. Oh my God, I think we all love a salacious like story,
memoir.
unfortunately. And this is a memoir, you're right. And it follows this lady called Belle, and she herself has such an interesting background. She is an old money heiress. Like she's a descendant of a railroad tycoon. Oh my God, that's like Roller Coaster Tycoon, that game. That's her life. Holy shit. She's living my dream. No, and also she's a granddaughter of socialite Babe Paley, who was very like influential
In the US.
socialite. Yeah.
So it tells the story of her real life marriage breakdown. In March of 2020, in the early days of the pandemic, Belle's husband of 20 years announced out of the blue that he was leaving her and their teenage children.
Mm.
It shocked Belle to her core, obviously. She had to transform her perspective of this husband, of this man, into
Mm.
a complete stranger.
Yeah, and I actually feel like unfortunately this stuff is kind of common. We hear this a lot with some of our friends. Like people will literally be like, "Oh, I've been like together with my boyfriend for however long." Suddenly, he will literally wake up one day and be like, "I don't think we should be together anymore." And like literally like a light bulb switch, like day and night.
So scary.
Yeah. And in the podcast episode with her, one detail always sticks out to me, right? So he literally like packed up his things, just fully left. He's like, you can have the house. I don't like want really much to do with our kids. Like, I don't want to like keep our kids. But then he like sees them and stuff. The first time he comes back after like no contact, just to like try to talk about the logistics, he comes back to the house. He's sitting in the like living room with like the kids and the mum. Then he says, I want a sandwich. And then she gets up and like because she was like, what the hell do I do? And then she ends up like going to the kitchen while like he's talking with the kids and like makes him a sandwich. Like there's so
Ugh.
many layers to this.
I really want to read it before I listen because I started like reading an interview with her and I was like, I feel like this is
Yeah.
giving the book away.
Yeah, yeah.
So definitely want to read. But it's the rights have already been bought by Netflix in a heated 6-way auction. That's according to Variety. Gwyneth Paltrow is already attached to star. What do you think of this happening so quickly?
Yeah. I was like not completely surprised, but I was like whiplash almost. I was like, I just learned about this book. It came out in January, and yet we are in March, and the book is already going to be turned into like a screen thing. I was like, can't it breathe as a book? And I think it really shows the state of the movie industry being like, we need a clamor to make something that's like already got hype behind it and like that trust, I guess, to build something. But I'm like, can we chill off a bit? Like, I'm sure there are like actual movie scripts that are already lying around. I don't know. Why do I feel like this?
Yeah, interesting you feel that way because a lot of the time when a book, the publishing rights are bought, not a lot of the time, it's not that common, but like when publishing rights are bought for a book, sometimes there's a deal, like a screen deal, like before the book is even published. So that's like,
you're so right.
Definitely. That would be like a dream, like double whammy straight away before the book's even out. Like, you know, you've got a good story then. I think it's just like Netflix and co just trying to capitalize on stuff. And like the world moves so fast nowadays. Like we even feel on the podcast where we record like on a Thursday, Friday, and when we release, it's like, are we still talking about this? Like everything is so fast. So I think that's a symptom of it as well.
Ugh, and the other bloody fucking reboot we have to talk about is a new Harry Potter HBO Max TV series.
Yeah, the trailer came out this week. Trailer came out this week. Did you watch the trailer?
I did.
Yeah. There's a lot of criticism online of like the lighting of it. Yeah. People are kind of joking like it's like if you ask AI to like do Harry Potter in the style of like Adolescence, the TV show. I won't be watching because like fuck JK Rowling, obviously. I also am interested, I know this is like old because the reboot has been talked about for a while, but like I guess why are we rebooting it? But then I was thinking about it last night and I was like, there's constantly like Jane Austen adaptations. There's constantly like Wuthering Heights adaptations off the top of my head. Like every 10 years. So like it's one of the biggest series of all time. Yeah. So like makes sense. I want to know if anyone knows the answer to this as well. On the trailer it says an HBO original series. But it's not an HBO original. Is this a dumb thing?
No, I maybe because I'm like no, but it's an original series.
But
like
it's not original.
Show. No, but they can say that with anything. You can't, you know, like as in if something's based on a book or a previous movie, and then they make it their own. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's okay. It's okay, Jazz.
You know.
I'm sure other people will have thought that as well, I will say. But yeah, when I was watching it, it looked like a bad cosplay of the original. I'm like, God, they really cast someone that looks exactly like Daniel Radcliffe. Like Hagrid from the back looks exactly like Hagrid. Like they were like looking at the source material of the original movies, which obviously originally the books, but they were looking at the movies and almost like, how do we recreate this like poorly? It was like nothing fresh. And it's just a shameless money grab. And I'm so, like, that's the only reason they're making something like this.
Well, for like a new generation, I guess.
No, bloody hell. The movies are not old. Like, they can watch that. And then there's like 500 games that they've made. And then there's like the world you can go. And then there's a play that you can watch. And then there's like the new follow-up series. I am so sick of it. JK Rowling will not get any more of my money. Like, she is actually such a terrible transphobe.
It's like a grittier version of Harry Potter 2. Like,
is it though?
Well, what the trailer looks like, it looks really gritty, and I think it's like there's a sign of the times. Like the magic of Harry Potter, the magic of childhood, is dead. Not to be dramatic, but like that's what kids get these days. And I think it's set in the 90s, like when the book is set too. Like as from like looking at the fashion that they were wearing.
Gross. Just gross.
Speaking of my emotional week, this week, Hannah Montana's 20th anniversary special came out on Disney Plus. I was home alone and I watched it, and it was actually so like cathartic and emotional to watch. Not even being dramatic. Did you ever watch Hannah Montana as a child?
Of course. The way that you put that question in the show notes, and I was so offended.
No, but I swear so many times on the podcast, I'm like, have you seen that? Have you read that? And you're like, no, I haven't.
No,
so
but like
it's a valid question. It's a
Hannah
valid question.
Montana. Yeah, of course, girl. I was like on the computer playing Hannah Montana games. You know what I mean?
Okay,
It's
I'm
much
so
fun.
glad.
Well, of course.
But also, you haven't watched the special yet.
I didn't.
So,
and
fake fan.
I know. So I'm here for you to tell me all about it because all I know, it's not like a reboot of the series, but it was like a reunion thing. And I know that she did an interview with Call Her Daddy as well.
Yeah, Alex Cooper led the interview. Basically, Hannah or Miley returned. We'll do this little segment. She returns to the set and she's interviewed by Alex, and there's a few guest stars. The guest stars were so random. It was like Selena Gomez, who played Michaela on Hannah Montana, but she was wearing a bun. This is so silly. And they give her like the old hat that the character used to wear.
But she's wearing the bun.
And she's wearing like a bun, so she can't fit on her head. It's like, why weren't you in the, like, Miley literally dyed her hair blonde for this thing.
Dying.
Anyway, Chapel Roan is also there because she's a fan.
Yeah.
Alex is obviously a fan. And then Billy Ray Cyrus shows up too, which was a surprise to me. I didn't know that.
Agreed.
And Miley actually comments on their kind of like ongoing feud.
Yeah.
She says, I think the fans really like it when my dad and I get along. Like, she's pretty candid.
Yeah.
And it was actually quite sad to see Billy Ray. Like, he seemed, obviously he's literally older, but knowing like what we know about, we spoke about this on the podcast at the time, but like what he was kind of going through, like drug addiction and just like estrangement from family.
Mm-hmm.
He seemed like pretty weathered, I guess is like a way to describe it. So they like read some lines together and then it like cuts back to like the old, like the actual scene of Hannah Montana. So it was very heartwarming. And the biggest criticisms have been like, where were the other main characters?
Yeah.
So Lily, who's played by Emily Osment, wasn't there.
And I had to quickly Google her to remember. She's like this, like the hardcore, like tomboy, like blonde, like should be a lesbian.
How do you not remember Lily?
Sorry, I pictured Lily from How I Met Your Mother. It was really bad when I was thinking about it this morning. I was like, who was she again? Yeah.
Oh my God. So she was absent from the red carpet and the show itself. And she makes like this Instagram story and she's like, I can't be there. I'm on the cast. I'm on set. Like I'm filming. And she's filming a show called Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage, which is a sitcom from obviously the US. And it's a spin-off of a spin-off of The Big Bang Theory.
What the hell?
Crazy. So Lily wasn't there, or Emily wasn't there. Mitchell Musso, who played Oliver, also wasn't there. Jason Earls, who played Miley's brother, Jackson, he was there for the red carpet. He wasn't on. And I just think, like, why weren't the other cast members, aside from Billy Ray, interviewed? It could have genuinely been like 2 hours. And Alex said that she filmed the interview for 2 hours, like just the interview part.
I feel like that means there's like some animosity between the cast or something. Because surely, like, point blank, it would have been good for your star, for like your fame to go on that show and to like put yourself back in the limelight because this was talked about so much. So I feel like there's some beef, like there's something going on.
Especially with all of like the nostalgia and reboots that like just feels like the culture of 2026. You'd think that you'd want to capitalize on it. So that was a shame. A lot of people have also been asking, where was the appreciation for High School Musical? Because it was also the 20th anniversary of that recently. But I think there's even more animosity between that cast. Like obviously Zach and Vanessa are exes. They don't talk anymore. Like Vanessa said in an interview, like we don't talk at all. So I think it was actually Miley who was like the one who was like pushing for this, which was really nice because post Hannah Montana, she definitely rejected the series and, you know, the label of Hannah in the Bangers era. She famously wore a shirt that said R.I.P. Hannah Montana. She definitely was like rebelling against her like good girl Disney image. We all remember that.
Bangers.
But this has been, I think, very healing for Miley. She released a new song from this called Younger You. She also covered a few Hannah Montana songs and The Climb, Miley Cyrus song from the Hannah Montana movie. It was great, but people have been loving it because it received Hannah Montana herself on Spotify Hannah Montana received like 5.4 million streams on the day after the show's release, which is a 390% global spike, like from the day before. Also, the show is like the top, like the number one Disney show at the moment. So I think it was really nice for like the fans to see. It felt very like full circle moment. I think we were left wanting a bit more, but I also felt grateful that we like got what we got because a lot of fandoms don't get that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, am I part of the Hannah Montana fandom? I think I am.
I think you are.
I think I'm like the exact age. I was literally 10 years old or about to turn 10 when it came out.
And I am for this, and I think it's so nice to have this moment like in the office the day right before it was dropping. Everyone was really excited talking about it. But at the same time, like I'm thinking about the conversation we just had, and we're like, we're so sick of all these like reboots and, it's diving into the past. And we're trying to support new things as well. So I feel like I can imagine filmmakers being really confused looking at our generation, being like, what do you guys actually want? Because you do still froth all this like nostalgia, all this reboot culture, but then you say that you want new stuff as well. So it's that balancing act.
Yeah, why can't we have both?
The book industry has been hit with its biggest AI allegation. A book has been pulled from its shelf. Let's talk about it.
The publishing company Hachette has withdrawn the book Shy Girl by Mia Ballad from shelves. It's going to be discontinued in the UK after being published in November of last year, and it was about to be launched in the US in May, and that has now been cancelled after the author has been accused of using AI to write it.
And can I say, the people who kind of uncovered this were regular readers. So this conversation really took off on Reddit and Goodreads first before we had other people feeding into the conversation. For instance, in a nearly 3-hour YouTube video back in January, there was a video titled, "I'm pretty sure this book is AI slop," by the popular account Frankie's Shelf. So that was someone who kind of really was behind this movement to uncover this, because let's be real, the publishing company didn't do their due diligence.
Frankie points out that the word sharp or sharply is used 159 times in the one book, and sharp is used 3 times in the first page. This is huge because it's the first time that a major publisher has like so publicly scrapped a book because it may have been edited or written with an LLM.
I think I'm the most shocked at this because this book is like out there in the world already. Like people have already read it, people have bought it, and now they have to like take it off the shelves like it was some, like the grocery stores. They're like discontinued item. Like there's something toxic in this book. Like don't eat this product. Like it feels like that conversation is happening here.
Let's quickly go over the blurb so we have a better idea of what the book is about. It reads, lonely, broke, and depressed with a serious case of OCD, Gia is desperate for a lifeline. When financial ruin looms, she turns to a sugar dating site and meets Nathan, a wealthy stranger with an offer too tempting to refuse. Live as his devoted pet and pay off all her debts. What begins as a transactional escape soon spirals into a nightmare of captivity and control. The longer Gia is trapped, the more her humanity frays and the line between woman and beast blurs.
Again, we're seeing themes that we're seeing a lot of in literature. So what was that book, Mother the Dog?
Night Bitch.
Night Bitch, yeah. Like we talked about that in our special autumn favorites video that just dropped last week as well. The cover, I will say, of this book is so up our alley. Like this is a book I could have read.
100%. It's very like lit girl, like horror fiction style, which like we lap up, which is a real shame for the genre. Funnily enough, Mia actually self-published this book in February of 2025, and it was Hachette who like reached out and then republished it.
Yes.
So this is on the publisher, I say.
Well, this is what's interesting. So the New York Times was kind of the first to report on this, and in a statement to them, Hachette said, quote, "Hachette remains committed to protecting original creative expression and storytelling," which I was like, what? And then Mia also wrote in, and she denied personally using AI to write the novel. She did say that she hired an acquaintance to help like edit or work on the self-published version, and they might have used AI tools. So very vague, very like dismissive. And I don't think that's what's happening because as readers have pointed out, they're like, no, so much of this has been like written with ChatGPT.
And like even if the editor, which is like wrong in itself, of course, if the editor did use AI, like surely you'd be like, this is not my words, because you've like, that's not an editor's job to literally rewrite it. That's a ghostwriter.
Yeah. Mia also had a statement saying, "This controversy has changed my life in many ways, and my mental health is at an all-time low, and my name is ruined for something I didn't even personally do." I'd be feeling so much for her because can I just say, writers famously like big egos, like, like we are I don't know. We are quite sensitive and we have a lot of like pride in our work. If this was me, I'd be so mortified. I don't know what I'd do.
The thing is, you wouldn't do that in the
No, I
first
wouldn't do
place.
this. No, I wouldn't do that.
So
I want to talk more about like what we expect from publishers, like whose role is it, who is in charge of like fact checking this or making sure that AI doesn't happen. There was this article called Facing Facts in Kill Your Darlings, and it was written by Zowie Douglas-Kinghorn, and we'll link it below. And they talk about it in Australia. So we'll read out some of it. Quote, in Australia, we don't tend to have professional cold callers ringing up to make sure every statement is verifiably true in our books. Instead, the industry often relies on authors themselves to do the grunt work of verifying references, cross-checking quotes, and tracking down sources. By contrast, most publishers require writers to do this kind of work, and this is outlined in their contracts.
fact checking is often a complex process that can reveal layered narratives over time, offering a richer truth than what might be immediately apparent. It also calls into question the relationship between narrator and narrative, as well as the boundary between fiction and nonfiction. Misinformation, plagiarism, and fabrication are some dangers that emerge when facts fall through and the stakes can be significant. The responsibility on the author to check facts and attribute sources is equally high. If that fails, you made it up. I think in this convo, we're putting a lot on the publishers when it's like, if you want to be a writer, you need to write. Like, what's the point? I know there's a lot of ego tied to this industry, and like a lot of people just like want to be famous with a book. But like, surely, like the joy for me of writing is when you're like staring at a blank page, or like you've got an idea in your head, you can't get it on paper, and then you hit this thing, and you're like, oh my god, yes, and you just like pours out of you, and you're like really proud because it came from your brain. That's like part of the joy. Obviously, like getting published is really nice, and like getting people saying like, I liked your article, or I connected with it. That's also really nice. But like the internal like validation or like the internal reward for writing is that. So like, why would you want to use AI?
I think people are driven by other things. And I wish like that's such a beautiful, pure response. Be like, I love the art and craft, like the craftsmanship of writing and that process. I don't think everyone's like that. And you actually see a lot of these like Kindle ebooks that are literally like people will pump. There are authors that pump out like 4 books a year, and it's like you're not writing that. Like how's that happening? You know.
Another point that I've noticed in this conversation this week is that ex-user Benji actually like used an AI detector on Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, and the detector said that the first paragraph is 100% AI or GPT generated of a book that's like hundreds of years old.
Yeah.
So I think those language models aren't perfect either, of like the detectors.
Oh, of course not. Yeah.
Happened to me at work this week.
Yeah.
I wrote like a paragraph intro for an event article, like just like this event is happening here, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And the Google Doc was like, alert, like this might be AI generated text. And I'm like, but you use the writing to create your language model. So it's a big circle. Like obviously it's going to sound like AI if you stole writers' work to train your AI language models.
Yeah.
It's like chicken or the egg.
Yeah. And like, oh my God, I hate outing myself, but it's like, I've really had to reevaluate a lot of my writing style since AI like really came into the conversation like a year ago, because I'm like, far out. I do sometimes like writing cliches, and in some of the ways that AI is like its style, so like listing things in 3, right? That's what we were taught in school.
Yeah.
Sorry. Like, and there's been a few times that I really trying to change it up, which is good. It makes you a better writer. I think it's like a laziness tactic, but I'm like far out. Like I do not write with AI, and I really don't want anyone to think that we are. And this has happened to us a few times. We'll read something online from like on like social media and be like, was that AI? And it's like, sometimes people just write in like a basic way as well. I don't know.
Especially if they're not professional writers. There are a few tells though. Do you still use the M dash in your writing?
No, because where I work, the publication doesn't use that in their style guide. Yeah,
I still use it. I love it.
I'm an N dash girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
I still use M dashes, and I'm like, fuck you, this is not AI.
Yeah, good.
Because I'm like, I know how to use it. I've got to use it because it actually makes the most sense here. I don't care if you think it's AI.
From this conversation, it's been cool to see that some organizations have like taken it upon themselves to distinguish AI writing from like like human writing. God. So for instance, last week, the Society of Authors introduced a logo aimed at distinguishing human authored books from AI generated content, and that's in the UK. This follows what happened in the US last year. The US Authors Guild did something similar. So I'm curious if we'll get something here in Australia too.
I saw a tweet about that. Like, if you think AI work or AI creativity is so good, like put a logo on everything that's AI generated. And like, would people or companies or whatever
Yeah.
still do that if it was like you have a stamp that this was made by a robot?
Yeah.
Would you still be as like blatant with it? Or like, if you're going to use AI, use it proudly almost, because
Yeah.
it's like, we need transparency.
Now it's time for Bookmarked, where we share a recommendation from the week that we've loved. Jazz, you are up first.
Having Laurie away means that I am choosing exactly what I want to watch on TV when I want to watch it. We obviously compromise, day to day, but I'm definitely in my video essay era at the moment. It started because in the autumn favorites, we were talking about our personal curriculums for autumn, like going to do some independent study. And one thing I'm looking at the moment is like Gothic literature. I think it was sparked from all the Wuthering Heights stuff. And so I've been looking at video essays on YouTube, and I really want to recommend one channel, Girl on Film Video Essays. They're by Rachel Barker, who is a friend and a former colleague. We used to work together at Vice back in the day. And Rachel now lives in London, but she creates video essays on horror, fashion, and femininity in film. And I watched a video this week, which is about why women love labyrinth movies. And I just found it so fascinating, just the way Rachel's brain works of like linking all these films together. For example, it was like Coraline, Alice in Wonderland, Pan's Labyrinth.
Pan's Labyrinth.
And like looking at how like what Labyrinth and Maze movies mean for girlhood, and like why they are always like young girls like on the cusp of teenagehood and adolescence and stuff. So it's really, really good. And just Rachel's like really easy to watch. There's like quite a relaxing tone of voice, and it feels like you're in like the best parts of English class. You'd have those classes in school that you'd feel like it was entertaining and I learned something and I want to like read more or like watch more.
Yeah.
So I'd recommend that.
That blew my mind, that connection. Like that thesis is so good.
And that's just one. Like there's so many. A lot of them are horror, and I don't really watch horror movies. But if you are into horror, definitely get on those. But there's a whole range of them.
Wow. Girls yearn for the labyrinth.
Yeah. What are you recommending for us this week, Maggie?
I have a book to recommend. I am finally like out of my reading slump, and I read the book that I got from our book club Christmas, where we do like a blind book kind of swap. And it is called Root Rot by Saskia Nislo, and it is a horror novella. So look at us getting all spooky up in here.
I think it's because it's getting colder.
I know. I love this book. This was a like teeny tiny book. It had the most gorgeous cover. That's why like everyone at book club fought for it, because it's hard to explain, but it's like this illustration of like bones, kind of like Gothic style, but then it's like a dark red and like pink book cover. That's the best I'll give you. You can just look it up. And this book is great because it's so weird and you don't really know what's going on. And it essentially follows 9 children that travel to their grandfather's like vacation property. The kids, you never like know their names. So the kids' names are like the crybaby, the one with the beautiful voice, like the girl twin. Like it's very vague. It's just a creepy book because weird things start happening. So nature, like the nature and the property is like a very like alive, like it's a character in itself, but like not in a way where we're like, oh yeah, like the landscape's a character. Like it's like antagonizing. This is like actually like alive and like almost is
actually
active.
alive. Okay.
Yeah, I would say like it looks at the cycle of life and birth and kind of nature's role in it and how our bodies could like return to the earth or like strengthen soil. I'm being very vague because I don't want to spoil anything, but it had me like physically like ooh, like scrunching up my shoulders and like like clenching my jaw because I was like, this writer is so good at thinking so out of the box. It was so wacky. It was like so creepy. It was like, you think it's like a baby lying on the ground, like naked, but then you go up close, it's like mushroom, right? But it's like weird stuff. And I
Okay.
liked it. It kept me really entertained. I think the writing was beautiful. It's quite like poetic, I would say. And spooky.
Yeah, because you're not a really like a massive horror
No.
girl either. So
No.
that's a good rec
Yeah.
because it obviously. I remember we were reading a book in book club and you were like, I'm scared to read it at night. I can't even remember
I
what
think
it
it's like
was.
a murder mystery one, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Probably like that. This is like more like it's fantasy.
Yeah.
So I feel like it works so well in a book form. I don't think I could watch this, but reading it's perfect for that horror hit that's not too intense.
Thank you so much for listening to Culture Club today. We really appreciate you guys. Talk to you next time.
Thank you so much for being here. We love you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.